Hello and welcome to my very first video tutorial. This will be a tutorial for this cowl. This is a free pattern on my blog. It's called cowl number 3. This is the first version that I've made. This is a variegated brown striped with a cream. And this is just a plain coloured one. So you can see the lovely texture in it. And it is super simple to make. Very easily customizable to whatever height and width you like. For these ones, this one used a full 100 gram skein, and this one I'd used up scraps, so this was about 75 grams altogether, I think. So yeah, let's get on with it. I am going to make just a very small version because my small person has requested a high contrast one, but he wants it in black and pink, and I did not think black and pink would be a good idea. So we have this green and yellow, just scraps. And because these are DK, I'm going to be using a 4mm hook. And say I'm just going to make a very small version, and oh, sorry, I'm getting a bit of a tangle behind the camera here. So, what we want is to leave about maybe a 6-inch tail on this. We need to be doing this in multiples of 2, so you can make it whatever size you want, as long as your foundation row, which is a foundation double crochet, as long as that is in multiple of 2. So, slip knot. How I do mine, there are many ways to do a slip knot, but how I do mine is wrap it around, so there's an X, turn it over, scoop it out, and then pull. And then you just get the long tail and tighten it up. Make sure you keep the longer tail out of the way. How you hold your hook and hold your yarn is entirely up to you. This is just how I do mine. If you do it differently, that's totally fine. So we start off with, we chain 4, 2, 3, 4. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. See this one here? We want to yarn over and go into this very first chain. So see, under both loops there. We want to yarn over and pull through 1. Now, before we continue with the double crochet, we want to yarn over again and pull through that one again, and just make a little chain. And then you just continue, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the start of your foundation double crochets. So again, we yarn over. You look underneath this little V here, that's the chain you've just made. So under both legs of the little V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 1 to make the other chain, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Okay? And you just keep doing that, yarn over. See, now you've got 2 little V's, through the little V, pull through, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And then you get a nice little edge across the bottom. It's stretchier than doing a chain as well. So that's it, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 foundation double crochets. So just keep doing that until you've got the length that you want. For the cowls that I showed you earlier, I did 90. But it's entirely up to you. You can do more, you can do less. I'm just going to do a very small one for this. So I'll meet you back in a minute. Okay, now we have our foundation double crochet. I've just done a very small one, I've done 30. So what we want to do now is make sure it's flat, make sure it's not twisted, and you want to bring the ends together. So this is why we have this tail that we left earlier. And you want to go into, look at here, we've got 1, 2, 3. Want to go into that top one there. Ooh. Want to go into the top one there and just pull through and then pull through again. Okay, and this little gap here is what we're going to use the tail to sew up later on. If it's bothering you just now, you can just pop your hook through and it's just hard to do on camera, and just pull it through there, and it'll just keep it kind of together a bit just now, but you will need to go back and sew it properly when you do your ends. Okay, so we have our foundation double crochets and we've attached them. So now for the first row of the pattern, it's a 2-row pattern repeat, and the first row is going to be your chain 1. Now this chain 1 doesn't exist. We completely ignore it. The purpose of this chain 1 is to make our first stitch easier. So see this first stitch here? We're going to yarn over, go underneath it. This is a front post double crochet. Yarn over and pull underneath. There you go. So it's just like a normal double crochet, except instead of putting your hook in the top V, you're putting it behind the post. So that's that stitch. The next one goes in the top. The next one is a half double crochet. So yarn over, pull through. There we go. Now you have to be careful. This one here is attached to this one. So now we go through this one. So yarn over, underneath, yarn over, pull through, and then just finish your double crochet as normal. Okay? Now make sure you go to the next stitch, the next V, do your half double. Okay? So that V is attached to this one, so we're on this one. Yarn over, underneath, pull through, finish your double crochet. And if you make a mistake, it's only crochet, you can rip it back, but this is how it should look. Okay. So this is where we get our texture, and we're just alternating between the front post and the half double crochets. So I'm going to continue and finish this row, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Okay, so here we are at the end. We've done our half. This is why we need the multiple of 2. So we do our front post, then we do our half in the last stitch, and then it's seamlessly half then double. Okay, so we get to the top of this front post here, into the V. Now at this point, if you're changing colours, we drop the green, you pick up your next colour, leave a bit of a tail so that you can sew it in afterwards, and you just pull that through there. Now you might want to give it a little bit of a tug. Right, make sure you've got the bit that's attached. Now this time we chain 2. It's the same as the other one, we ignore it, this doesn't exist, this is simply there to make the next stitch easier. So the next stitch goes in here. Right, next stitch goes in this one, because this chain doesn't exist. So in the top of the front post, we'll put our first double crochet. Okay? So this we ignore. So that's 1 double crochet. And we just do this, we just do this all the way around. And from the top, they all look the same. all just the little V's, just like normal. The texture's all in the front, everything's the same on top. So we'll just do a row all the way around of double crochets. Okay, here we are at the end, just doing the last couple of double crochets here. So you make sure that the last double crochet goes in above, see there's the front post, then you've got the half, you still got your little stitch there, make sure you get a double crochet in there. Your stitch count should be the same all the way through, it never changes. So this is the chain 2 that doesn't exist, and this is your first double crochet. So on the top, put your hook through that V. Now if we're changing yarns again, if we're striping, you drop the yellow and pick up your first colour again, and use that to pull them through. Give a little tug on the yellow just to tighten it up, and then we chain 1, and then we do exactly the same as we did on this row. This is your 2 row repeat now. Okay, so if you're striping it, this colour row, for me it's the green, will always be the front post, half double, front post, half double. The yellow will always be in plain double. Okay, so we want to make sure when we're looking at it, front post, so this one needs to be a front post. Okay, make sure you're not putting it, we're ignoring this. Okay, so underneath there, pull through into the next stitch with your half, into the next stitch with your front post, half, front post. Okay, so it's much after the first row, it's much easier if you're doing different colours to see where your front posts are. So we'll just do that all the way around again, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so here we are back to the last couple of stitches again, and your last couple of stitches are always going to be your front post, get in and get your half. You'll always end this row on a half, and then get your front post into the top of there. We'll drop the green again, we'll pick up the yellow, make sure you don't pick up the tail, pull through, give the green a little bit of a pull to tighten it up, then we chain 2, double crochet into the same stitch because the chain 2 doesn't exist, and then just double crochet all the way around again. And you just keep doing these 2 rows the whole time until you run out of yarn or it gets to a height that you want. And after this one here, after the double crochet, do another row of this one. You always end on the front post half double row. You always end on a row 1. So I'm going to go around here with this, and then I'll meet you back here when I've done that. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and finished off that double crochet row, and then done another row 1 with the front post and the half double crochets. Now this is obviously a very tiny swatch, but you can get the idea. So we'll do our last front post, our last half, our last half. Now when it comes time for finishing off, you stick with the same colour, you don't pick up the other one. So you go in there, you pull through, you chain 1 into the same stitch, because remember the chain 1 does not count, and then you just half double crochet all the way around. Sorry, the focus is going a little bit funny. Yeah, you just do a half double crochet all the way around, just to give it a nice edge. So I hope that everything made sense, and I hope that it's easy enough to follow along with. So the written version is going to be on my blog, which will be linked down below. And if you have any questions, you can always get a hold of me either by email, leaving a message on YouTube, leave a message on Instagram, leave a message on the blog. If you have any questions about anything, I will try and be as helpful as I can. Now, this is my first tutorial, so I expect I have made mistakes. I hope not too many, and I hope that it's still been easy enough to follow. And oh dear, last few stitches in here. And then you just slip your hook in, pull it through and tie it off. There we go. So the seam is not, like, I know where it is, but it's not very visible at all. If you look inside, this is where you're carrying your colours up. So you do get the tiniest of little loops, but nothing that's really going to catch on anything. This is just the tails from before. So you just fasten off, sewing your ends here. Because this is double crochets, they have like a big gap here anyway, so you just have to sew, use your tail, sew the bottom part of that together, and it's not noticeable at all. And then just sew your ends in and off you go. It is a great little scrap buster. You can use as many colours as you like, you can use whatever weight of yarn you like, whatever hook you like, just whatever you have that you would like to make a cowl out of. So yeah, thank you for watching my tutorial, and I'd love to see any cowls that you make with it. Yeah, and pop across my podcast as well. I do a weekly podcast on this channel. So thank you very much. Bye.